Hi there, I am Dr. Pakoya McCall Robinson, and today we will be discussing what we are all too familiar with, mental exhaustion. In the state of COVID and transitioning to online learning and online work, we are overworked and we have no way to have outlets and take breaks and cope with all of this in the house, online, lots of stimulation. So, we will be going over some insights on how to take some breaks and what to do about that. So, let's get started with talking about this brain fog and this mental fatigue that we're feeling and ways to combat that. Be sure to visit our website at insightme.com. That's the letter N, SIGHTME.com. That way you can sign up for the newsletter. Each month, there's a various mental health topic that is covered, as well as you will get alerts and announcements about live webinars or uploaded recordings. That way you'll never miss a beat. So we'll be getting started just shortly. And again, if your brain is looking like this, like many of ours, this is the webinar for you. So what is mental exhaustion? It's kind of like feeling tired, except it's your mind. The muscles of your mind are exhausted. You know, you can go to the masseuse and get a massage because you're feeling tense and tight. Well, how do you give yourself a brain massage? This tends to show up when you are focused on tasks that require a lot of mental exertion for extended periods of time. You could also feel like this drain or brain drain, as we call it, if you're always on alert. So, new moms or moms of multiple kids or families with a lot of things that are going on, you know what I mean. You're constantly alert and operating in the red or just frankly stressed out. You may have a job that's extremely demanding and of your attention, of your vision, that could be very meticulous. Any type of field that is, again, is requiring this high alert, constantly stressed. You could be an adult caregiver, again, parents, teachers. These things could all lead to mental exhaustion. Do you have a short fuse? Have you found yourself feeling irritable, easily irritable? Well, mental fatigue can put you in a bad mood. If you're tired and sleepy, you may become short-tempered. You could be snappy, and you're more snappy than usual and at more people more often. It's much harder to control your emotions when, frankly, you're mentally tapped out. All right, so it's quitting time. I mean, are you ever just dragging by the end of your day or even midday? When you're mentally exhausted, your productivity goes down. Mental exhaustion can also make this much more harder to concentrate, even on simple tasks or even tasks you may have found enjoyable at one point or another. This just stifles motivation all around. So if you're feeling unmotivated lately and you're questioning your craft or questioning your direction in life, it could just be mental exhaustion. You may even find yourself getting distracted easily, maybe missing deadlines, not following through with tasks, turning in assignments late if you're in school, or not doing that at all. And that's just not characteristic of you. These small tasks that you may have may seem very overwhelming. Do you find yourself saying, wait, what did they just say? Or can you repeat that? Or frankly, just, huh? Again, with mental exhaustion, this could even look like you're drowsy or you might start daydreaming a lot. But bottom line is, it's just hard to pay close attention to what you're doing, what someone else is doing, what someone else is teaching you, or even what they're saying. And your response time and your reactivity and reaction times start to diminish. This can also be dangerous depending on the type of job you may have that requires quick responses and high alert and communication. You could be driving trucks. Again, mental fatigue is linked to an increase in car accidents. Have you found yourself to be up all night, just can't get any sleep, but you are exhausted, you are tired, you are out of it? You might think it's easier to go to sleep when you are exhausted, when your brain is fried, but that's not the case. If you're laying in bed and you're tossing and turning and your mind is racing and you're saying, why can't I go to sleep? Well, research shows that people who have jobs that are high demand in your cognitions, requiring you to think and be alert and meticulous, these people tend to report more symptoms of insomnia than those who don't have mentally exhausting type work. Also, a lack of getting sleep, a lack of rest can actually make your mental fatigue worse. So if you are finding that you are having sleep disturbance or can't get to bed, or your quality of sleep is diminishing, and you're maybe sleeping and you're really tired during the day, you can always alert your MD and talk about other alternatives for helping you sleep. Have you found that you are exhausted, but you are engaging in high risk activities and behaviors? Are you drinking more? Are you using drugs? Are these characteristics that aren't usually like you? Have you found that you're just maybe reaching out and trying to make yourself tired? Mental fatigue can take an even harder toll on you if you have a substance abuse disorder. Many of the experts that study exhaustion and addiction believe that's because drug addiction
This is what happens to your brain
various regions of the brain that tend to help you manage stress better. And it also helps to control impulses.
It's not over yet.
This is what your family goes through. Your mental exhaustion. Feeling like Eeyore lately. Depression is the common cold of mental health disorders. You may not have any energy, or you may feel like everything is in slow motion, just very ho-hum. No points in doing things, no points in getting out of bed, taking a shower, brushing your hair, putting on your makeup, getting dressed, turning on your camera to participate in meetings. But some people say they're even feeling this sense of numbness. There is no lust for life any longer. You're just kind of ho-hum. These moods, this energy, this numbness people are feeling, it can make it hard to finish things at work and just do your basic day-to-day activities. Again, you can tell your doctor if you're having these feelings and they are consistent and the feelings can seem really, really low, and this sense of hopelessness, and it's longer than 2 weeks. That can be a sign your depression is actually more serious. All right. Are you that type A that I've spoke about before in previous webinars, and specifically in the stress management? Are you worried a lot? Because again, mental fatigue and this exhaustion we're talking about, you may think you don't have time to even think, but in actuality, mental exhaustion can tend to trigger your sympathetic nervous system. That's what you see here, that fight, flight, or freeze. This keeps you in that fight or flight mode. Anxiety can go up. This is that alarm that goes off that is telling you something is wrong with your body, something's wrong in the environment. However, if you are chronically fatigued, or chronically stressed, and again, mentally exhausted, you might begin to naturally start feeling panic or worried all the time for no reason, and you cannot explain or identify what's going on. So, for those of you who maybe are finding you're having an onset of anxiety that seems to be coming out of the blue, and you've never had a history of worrying or anxiety and felt like prior to the pandemic, these new changes in this way of doing things prior to, if you've had always felt like you can manage stress pretty well, again, this could be just because of your mental exhaustion. And this is also something, again, to be mindful of, as it often, anxiety can coincide with symptoms of depression. Okay, for all of my athletes, my exercisers, my cardioers, all of you out there, if you've noticed exercising has become more difficult, mental fatigue and a mental exhaustion actually impacts our cardiovascular system. We're not really sure how or why, and experts have researched this and just can't seem to come up with what happens physically when we are mentally exhausted. Some can tend to think that your tolerance for exercise diminishes when you are mentally exhausted. It may just seem like you're putting in more effort than you actually are. Again, mental exhaustion plays some serious mind tricks on us. So be mindful of this as well, and the impact of your mental capacity, your fatigue, your exhaustion, whatever we're calling it here, how this can impact your daily exercise regimens. Okay, so I know this is a big one for everyone. Since working from home, we have gained that quarantine 15. It's almost like our first year back in college again. I have heard so many complaints about gaining weight, snacking profusely while being at home. And again, our mental exhaustion can impact our appetite. And these impacts are in many different ways. Some people may start to snack more usual or snack more than usual, and tend to not even pay attention to what we're eating. Have you gotten up and had cake for breakfast yet? Stress can also make you crave sugar, salts, or fatty foods. You may not even be hungry at all. So here, when you're working from home, we want to try to set times just as we would if we were at work, if we were in school, physically on campus. The bell schedule, it does something to us. We probably weren't even hungry when it became 12 o'clock or when that lunch bell rang, but all of a sudden we're conditioned that once it rings, we all of a sudden get hungry. Keeping up with water, drinking more water every hour, try to do that 8 hours a day. You have 8 ounces every hour. Get some veggies, make a grocery list, a snack list, and be sure to take your breaks. When you're taking breaks, even if you got 10 minutes, walk outside of that room you're in, go out the front door, smell some fresh air, do some deep breathing, get some sunlight on your face, eat well, and just ask yourself the question, am I really hungry? Okay, so as I mentioned a couple of slides back, how dangerous mental exhaustion can be. And frankly, we're not perfect as it is. We make mistakes all the time. And imagine just adding a little mental exhaustion to the recipe. This lessens our ability to catch mistakes or even fix mistakes quickly at all. And the rates of being exhausted and the correlation with exhaustion and workplace injuries are quite high. So this, again, it can cause serious problems at various jobs. As you see here, this guy's laying under a forklift. You've seen all those videos where a forklift driver is knocking over all of these pallets, and we think it's hilarious, or they're falling off, machines are falling off pallets. Again, mental exhaustion. So whenever you are operating heavy machinery, driving or flying planes, make sure you're getting adequate rest and taking care of yourself mentally. Okay, have you noticed that you are feeling more pain lately? Everything's hurting. You have lots of aches and pains, and you're not sleeping well, so you think it's your bed. You just bought new pillows and your body is still aching, and you're saying, oh, maybe it's because I'm getting old and this and that. Well, even though everyone's pain tolerance is different, and it's hard to say matter-of-factly how mental fatigue will affect your body, we know it does affect your body. It does have an impact. You may start even getting headaches, again, sore muscles, back pain, stomach problems. And even if you have any ongoing medical illnesses or chronic illnesses such as fibromyalgia, these things may start to hurt, or you may see symptoms flaring up more than they usually do. So we know what's going on. We are exhausted. So somewhere on any of these previous slides, we're all on there somewhere, whether we can't sleep and we're up doom scrolling all night, or eating, snacking profusely, or aching and paining, and probably are breaking more glasses around the house than usual. Let's talk about some ways to deal with it. How can we get back to our mental norm if we're still going to be under these same restrictions that are causing the symptoms in the first place? And one of my favorite things to do is this Pomodoro Technique. And it works. It absolutely works. It may feel like you're going back to kindergarten, but break it down, take it back to basics. You gotta pick a task, right? Whatever it is you have to do for the day, pick the task, set the timer, do it, take a break, and start over. So when you are scheduling your day, when you're scheduling your week, you gotta put time in to take a break. Everything doesn't have to be done on one day. So if you've gotten behind on activities or tasks, if you can spread them out over the week, don't even try to put everything and be like, I'm just going to finish everything tomorrow. Just spread it out over the week. I'm going to do this on this day, or I'm going to do this in the morning at this time. And after I complete it, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to breathe, get some fresh air, come back in and do it again. Really, it helps to take these short breaks during long stretches of mental work. There's no real amount of time or exact amount of time or rest that works for anyone in particular, but it's just knowing that you do need these little mental breaks. I know people are saying, oh, you got your 15-minute nap and it's your hour power. Whatever works for you, but just finding a way. You may want to recharge a few minutes every 1 to 2 hours of work. Bottom line, get active, get up, move about. Again, as we just discussed, if you work for 8 hours a day, every 1 to 2 hours, you want to be able to get up and do some sort of movement, taking a break. If you use that Pomodoro method, you can do a task for 25 minutes and then get up and take a 5-minute break. In between activities, get up and just stretch, even if that's just standing up. Remember those desks that can raise up or go lower to where you can stand and do some work and sit and do some work, but just get up, do some head circles or some shoulder rolls, twisting your chair. There's even ergonomic exercise ball chairs on Amazon. Whatever you can do, try out some different things. There's evidence that you may even feel more energized if you exercise during your breaks. Just stand up, do some high knees for 30 seconds or a couple squats. Those are my favorite because I'm already sitting at my desk. I just stand up and just gently tap on the chair as I squat and stand back up. Again, it gives me a quick boost, but try some jumping jacks, even just try stretching, reach to the sky. Can you touch your toes? Something for a few minutes. Again, every 1 to 2 hours, you want to make sure you're getting up and doing something and incorporating that water or those healthy snacks. And if you have a longer break for your actual lunch, maybe use 10 or 15 minutes of that to go for a walk. Walk down your block and back, walk around your backyard, whatever it is you can do, definitely try to get moving. Oh, and this is a personal favorite of mine. I am constantly telling people, try to make some me time. If you're busy around the house, you have kids that are in Zooms, you got kids in different grades, you have your own restrictions of work and obligations, that same way of setting out a schedule to take a break throughout the day, you have to set out a schedule to take a break for yourself. Even if that's just getting up, walking away from everything and everyone for a little while, maybe take a long bath every Sunday, whatever your routine is, set up a routine for yourself where you can just get some peace of mind. Maybe you can meditate, pick up some apps, but those that are around you, make sure they are a part of your schedule. That way they know this is your me time and they can respect your me time. Maybe even facilitating an entire household if you have multiple people living with you, where everybody stops at the end of their day and has some me time. It's unplugging, you lay out, you take a walk, whatever it is, but me time is absolutely important. It's very hard to avoid mental exhaustion completely, but you can learn to switch your body. Your body has natural relaxation responses. So you can learn to switch that on when you need. Again, getting massages, doing some yoga. Remember, we're getting up every 1 to 2 hours anyways. But even something as simple as watching something funny really helps to shift your mood and boosting your serotonin so you cannot be so irritable. And again, can relax, reach out to friends and family, of course, your mental health professionals, anytime you need more support. Again, check our website at insightme.com and look for our live webinars that'll be coming up. Checking the in-store section for pre-recorded webinars in case you missed one of our live ones. You can always go back and check the video on demand and clicking the links, and that'll guide you directly to where you can go and find a pre-recorded webinar. Again, sign up for the newsletter so you can have access to our monthly topics that are always related to mental health. You can send us an email about specific topics you may want to hear more about. Sometimes there's subjects we want to expound on, but be on the lookout for those other webinars and other opportunities in order to join live or are pre-recorded. So again, that's insightme.com. And you can even follow us on Instagram at insightme. And that's our IG. I want to tell you, thank you again for joining this webinar. Mental exhaustion has taken a hold on all of us. So I hope to see you all on a live webinar one day. And if not, continue to follow through and watch these pre-recorded ones as well.